What's going on, Giants fans? Welcome back to Boom Bold, and the Giants are facing the Eagles tonight on Thursday Night Football. Obviously a quick turnaround after facing the New Orleans Saints. I know I forgot to upload the recap on that. Well, I didn't forget. I just didn't want to do it because that game absolutely drained the life out of me. I mean, that was a game obviously we're all expecting to win, and of course the Giants find a way to lose as they always do. But a quick turnaround on Thursday Night Football tonight versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm not sure if this video will be uploaded by then. It's definitely going to be uploaded at least at most during the game. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. If you guys do enjoy this video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. It'll all be really appreciated. But obviously we have a preview before the game. Let's go on to the team stats. Obviously the Giants offense have been, stale, basic. Obviously, we're ranked the middle of the pack in terms of yardage, so I guess that's something. It's an upgrade from previous seasons. Ranked 20th in total yards, 18th in passing yards, 13th in rushing yards. The rushing offense has been way better in these past 2 weeks, rather than week 1 where it was absolutely non-existent, and then week 2 where it was non-existent. Obviously, Tyrone Tracy is returning back to the lineup, so that's good news to hear. Obviously, he's gonna be, basically the Sonic and Knuckles with Cam Scadaboo there. Obviously, basically a knockoff version of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs on the Detroit Lions. We ranked 20th in points, so obviously another year in the Brian Dable offense where we are ranked in the lowest of the packs in terms of points. Our defense, they were a huge disappointment. They're a huge disappointment this season. Obviously, the D line, they are getting pressure. They're just refusing to get sacks, and our secondary, they're just, obviously, even with the additions that we signed, they're finding a way to sell games. Obviously, last game versus the New Orleans Saints, they, penalties everywhere, allowing Rashid Shaheed on an 87-yard TD. This isn't a recap of the Saints. I'm just letting you guys know. Eagles, they're not really from on paper, they're not really great on offense themselves, but the stat sheet does not reflect on how they are as an actual offense. They're 30th in yards, obviously. 31st in passing yards, 25th in rushing yards. Obviously, that's a major surprise with Saquon Barkley. He has the fourth most attempts with he ranks mid-20s in rushing yards. He has only 267 while having 83 attempts, so that's surprising to hear. But there are 12 in points that relies on their defense really. The defense is getting turnovers, and they're gonna end up in the red zone somehow. They pick it off, they return for yards, fumble, return for yards enough to where they can just easily score a red zone TD. And onto their defense, they have their 20th in yards, 15th in passing, rushing yards 22nd, and 16th in points. So I believe the offense is the better side of the ball versus their defense, but the defense have been coming in clutch for them this season. They're ranked top in the red zone offense. But moving on to the injury report, Swayze Bozeman, the linebacker, he's out with an ankle injury. Jermaine Illuminor, who's been great for us this season, he's questionable with a back injury. I do expect him to play. Obviously, we're gonna need him versus this pass rush of the Philadelphia Eagles. Demetrius Flannigan-Fowles, he's out again with a hamstring injury. And Darius Slayton, basically the person I believe who sold the game last week, is out with a hamstring injury. So that just leaves us with Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt, and two undrafted rookies in Bo Collins and Lil Jordan Humphrey. I don't know why the Giants refuse to make a move at the wide receiver position. It's just totally hindering Ed Jackson Dart's development in this league. I mean, if you're gonna draft him, you want to surround him with as much talent as possible to let him have at least a small chance to succeed, and we're not even doing that. We do have Theo Johnson at tight end. Daniel Bellinger at the second tight end spot. They had good games last week, at least a good first half until everything just went to shit. On the Eagles side of the ball, a big injury from the Eagles offensive line. Landon Dickerson, he is out. A tight end of theirs, Grant Calcaterra, I believe I said that right. He's out. Nakobe Dean's gonna make his season debut today. Jalen Carter, he's questionable with a head injury. I hope he doesn't play because that would be huge for us. But I probably do expect him to play because he's tough. I mean, nothing really stops him. He plays through injuries sometimes. All right, we officially signed Jude McAtamey, the kicker. He won the kicking competition between Younghoe Koo And he's officially signed to the active roster. We use all of our practice squad elevations from him, so we're just signing him to the active roster now. Maybe Young Wei Koo will get signed off waivers for another team probably next week, maybe. But we'll see about that. Saquon Barkley, this is going to be his third matchup versus the New York Giants. His third game after we let him go in free agency and let him sign to the Eagles. It still blows my mind how we let that happen. He's been having a slow start to the year. Obviously, like I said before in the beginning of the video, he has the fourth most rush attempts. He has 83. And then he somewhere ranks around the mid-20s in rushing yards out of the entire league with 267. But I do expect them to have a monster game versus us because our rush defense is horrible, even with Dexter Lawrence and Darius Alexander, which he is improving every single day. We see him make a few plays versus the Saints. We meet him. My bad. We see him make a couple plays versus the Los Angeles Chargers, so he is improving day by day, which is glad to see because he's a third-round pick. I thought he was gonna have a really slow start to the year, which he's actually improving with every snap that he takes on the field. So that's always good to hear. But even with two of those players, our rush defense is still a problem. Obviously, the secondary does not know how to tackle for anything. Bobby Okereke, he's having a decent year, but he's still missing his tackles. Darius Muasau, he's been having a good start to his year, obviously replacing after Micah McFadden. But obviously, Saquon is one of the greatest running backs of all time. So, at least in my opinion, yeah, it's gonna be tough to slow him down. Well, we'll see tonight. We'll see. The tight ends, I expect them to get a lot of volume. Like I mentioned before, Theo Johnson and Daniel Bellinger had good first halves. Last week, obviously, I think this is gonna be his third. I think this is his third. Let me see. Theo Johnson has 3 TDs on the year. So obviously, we see Jackson Dart and Theo Johnson having they're showing chemistry there. But we'll see if that carries on versus the Philadelphia Eagles. And Daniel Bellinger, he had some clutch moments in the first half of the game. So we'll see if that carries on to this week too. Moving on to the Eagles offense, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith have reportedly been not happy with their roles on the offense. Obviously, their defense has been carrying them to having a lot of red zone opportunities, which leads to touch pushes and Saquon just rushing it in for TDs. But I do also expect them to get their get right game. Obviously, whenever you're versing the Giants, expect everybody that's having maybe a slow start to the season to have a major game versus us because we just let everybody do what they want. But my prediction for this game, we're gonna get absolutely clobbered. I expect them to score maybe 30. I believe our defense will hold up in the first half, but then our offense will not. Our offense will not back it up, and then the defense will just give up in the second half. So I believe they'll score maybe 30, 35, and then we'll score maybe a little. I'm being generous, maybe 20 points. I mean, I don't know. It's any given Sunday, but I'm not excited for this one. Obviously, we know the season's over. We definitely know the season's over now after the loss to the Saints. But this is gonna be a bloodbath for the Philadelphia Eagles. Everyone's gonna get their get right game here. Expect everybody to look like an all-pro versus us. If they don't, and if we come out with a win, hopefully we come out with a win. But if we what more can you expect out of this team? I mean, sorry to sound pessimistic, but this is how it is. This is how this football team has been treating us for the last few years. So I don't expect anything much anymore. But obviously, I'm gonna try to get this video uploaded during the game, at least before the game. So I'll see you guys then. Let's go Big Blue.